This is the 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Orr Cadillac in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this IQ and tell you all about it. And there is a lot here to talk about. So let's start here on the front end. By the way, if you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Orr Cadillac website. Now you're going to see full LED lighting. You're going to see a lot of animation. Hopefully I can get that to work here with these animated lights. You can see the blinkers. There we go. You can see the lights right there. And what's interesting here is a lot of the time, I'll tell you, that kind of animated effect you see that looks as if the lights are in motion right here is not really happening. It has to do with our cameras, but when you saw that, it actually was happening right there. See that? That is actually happening in real time. Now it does eventually become a solid light, but that is very cool. Full lighting, LED, everywhere you look, all over the vehicle. We're going to have a combination of quite a few different colors here as well, with some gloss black or piano black finish, also with the lighting that goes across the so to speak grill here. It's not really a grill, but this area does allow for airflow in to help the battery to stay a little bit cool, that Ultium battery. And when I push a button that's right here, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have the E-trunk open up for us, revealing quite a bit of cargo capacity, believe it or not, 12.2 cubic feet. And here's the thing, there's not any roof rails on this model, so you can't buy the crossbars. So if you want to haul that extra cargo, you do it right here instead. But it gives you a lot of space where that is concerned. And I'm going to pull the remote out right here. Obviously, I can use that to open and close the E-trunk, among many other things. You also have a remote start. And you're going to have E all-wheel drive. You're going to have air suspension. You're going to have magnetic ride control. So you can imagine, without me having to tell you, that the ride quality is superb. Something else that's very interesting here. Let's talk about our tire and wheel setup. Your tread width is going to be 275. We're going to have a 50 series sidewall, and these are 24-inch wheels. Definitely big wheels, that's for sure. Some of the biggest we've ever seen on any vehicle. And you'll notice the design is a little bit different from what you see on a lot of other vehicles. The name of the game with any EV is obviously aerodynamics, to try and keep your charge capacity as high as possible. That has to do with your design right here, but honestly, it looks nice. I have to say, some EVs out there have a very gaudy look with their wheels. Not in this case. You're going to have a turn signal indicator right here that comes on when you turn your blinkers on, so that's a good reason to use your blinkers. There we go. We can let you see that in action right there. Power adjustable side view mirrors with the gloss black mirror caps, and once again you're going to have your turn signal indicators built in, and literally everything you want is going to be here. They're going to be heated, power folding, power adjustable, and you have your blind spot monitoring built in as well. That's nice. Now here is something that's very interesting. I'm going to open both of these doors right here. I'm going to step back and let those open, and notice all I did was just touch the button on those so that they would open up for me. But there's something else that's very interesting here. There's two ways to close these doors. One way is I can pull on the door handle right here. So all I have to do is take that and just go like that if I want to. Option number two is basically the opposite of what I use to open the doors. We can come to the door handle right here and push the pad on the inside, the button on the inside, and they close that way. Very nice, and they have soft close built into them as well. Now, one thing that might surprise you in this particular case is that you don't have the power assist steps, but you know what? I think in this case, it's actually a good thing to have the affixed in place steps, because that's going to save a little bit on your charge capacity, because your steps aren't coming out and going back in using the power of the battery. And you'll find a little bit more of that gloss trim right here, the piano black finish. I think it works really well on this particular vehicle just because of the luxury that it represents. And as I showed you earlier, or told you about earlier, notice no roof rails up top. You know why that is. You do have a panoramic sunroof, a very large sunroof up there. And we're going to have our rear privacy glass that looks a little bit darker than it really is because of some of the gloss black accent that we have, some of the trim right there that works its way all the way across the top, comes back here. We're going to have a nice large rear roof spoiler. We're going to have, again, that LED lighting back here that is so nice. There's a little bit of that LED lighting in action if you want to see that. Your large Cadillac logo. And then if you want to know a little bit more about the model and what this is, there is that information right there. It's actually called the Sport 2 on the window sticker. But I know one of the big things a lot of you want to know about the numbers as far as horsepower, charging times, and all of that. Let's go to the front of the vehicle and I'll tell you all about it. And you definitely won't have any trouble getting down the road. 0 to 60, believe it or not, is in about 5 seconds thanks to 750 horsepower and 785 pounds-feet of torque. And I'm going to let Carrie give you a little bit of a walk-around tour here real quick and show you some things as I give you some of the other numbers. About a 450-mile driving range on a single charge. On a level 2 AC charger, you can go about 37 miles of range in an hour. If you go with the DC fast charger, you're looking at 100 miles of range in about 10 minutes. And let's come back over to this side and I'll show you how you're going to charge your Escalade IQ. Now there is a little bit of a trick here, so very simple. All we're going to do is push on that. I say we're going to. Come on, there we go. Had to make it cooperate with me. But here's where we're going to charge. If you're going to use the DC fast charger, there is that. Now, one important thing, so you don't have to buy a new charge door. If I push on it like that, notice nothing happens. You actually will push this button right here. When I push that, then it goes ahead and closes. And how about practical use? You can tow up to 8,000 pounds, and I'm going to, there we go, get that to work. I'm still getting used to that. This is the first time we've actually been able to touch one of these. But we'll go ahead and do what we know. This is something that's normal for a Cadillac Escalade, but here are our controls. The rear are for the back seats. Those in the front are for the middle seats. And so let me go ahead and push those real quick and we will lower our seats. Now the thing here, let's see, am I going to have to hold those down to get them to do anything? Come on, all the way down. There we go. And then we lower the middle seats as well. And let Carrie give you a quick look around as far as all of that goes so I can give you your cubic feet of cargo capacity, which is 23.6 up to 119.1. And let me get this box out of our way real quick just so that we can show you a few other things that are here, show you what's under the floor. Now, it shouldn't come as a surprise that there is not a spare tire here. Very much a common thing with most EVs, although there's some out there that don't have a spare tire. But obviously you've got some of your equipment here. You'll have your charging cable that comes with it that's actually in the box right there. But there's actually quite a bit of space in here. And as far as practical use goes, we're going to have our power outlet right here. That's good to know that you have the power outlet in case you need to turn something, charge something or power something. And then we're going to have our tie downs in a couple of different areas and nice bright LED lighting back here. Now, one thing that is a little bit different here if we look at the panoramic sunroof is that it is affixed. That is a one-piece affixed in place panoramic sunroof, so it doesn't actually open, but you do have the typical features and functionality where that is concerned. And then to close things up, all I have to do is push that button right there and the power tailgate automatically closes. But boy, is there a lot to talk about on the interior, so let's hop inside and tell you all about it. Now, one thing you might have noticed that I didn't say was the fact that there's no shade for your panoramic sunroof up here. So just one of those things to think about. It is tinted, so hopefully that's enough. It definitely looks like more tint than I've seen on, say, a Tesla that has a sunroof that also cannot be concealed away. Let's take a look at what our door panels have. Obviously a ton of room, and you're going to notice these speakers right here. There are 36 speakers throughout the interior of this Escalade IQ. Large door bin down there as well. That's one of the largest I think I've ever seen on any SUV of any sort. As we work our way here into the interior, You will have some things that are more typical of a Cadillac Escalade with the controls on the side of the seat. You've got that control or that lever in the front that changes the position of the seat, so you can see that I can move that all the way forward if I want to with that, or move it all the way back. And you'll notice the one behind that says ×2 on it. When I pull on that once and then twice, we'll get that to come up. There we go. Give it a little bit of help. That gets the seat up and out of the way so I can easily gain access to the third row back here. Now, let me do this. Go ahead and put mine back up in place so that you can see me real well. Now, that's a lot of leg space. Now, the seats come back to about right here, so you can see that's about where I would be. But you know what? There's still plenty of room. At 5'10", I do have a little bit of space above my head. It's not too bad back here. These seats are nice and comfortable. There is seating for 3 people back here. And something else that I really like, that I wish more 3-row SUVs had, I know all of the GM models do, and that's air conditioning vents located in the roof itself, instead of having them, say, down in this area right here, because that way the air doesn't have to travel near as far. And there's one for every passenger. Notice there's 3. I really like that. And as we look over here, we're going to have just your typical situation with a cup holder and a USB port. Now, there's also a switch right here, a button that can be used to get the seat out of the way as well. And in the event that the battery dies, you also have, let's see if I can find it, there it is, right there, the manual release to get these seats up and out of the way. But since obviously our battery isn't dead, I can go ahead and let the seat down like that. And I'll hit it one more time. I say I will. There you go. Don't let me down in the middle of a scene. But now I can hop right out. Now, one other thing that I thought was very interesting here, the door hinge down there that you can see exposed, I'm going to let Carrie show that to you. That is actually metal. Normally those are plastic, so I thought that was very interesting. See if he knocks on that one more time. I don't know if you can hear that on my microphone, but it's interesting to see that. I just thought we would point that out because it's not a normal thing to see. Now, we're going to have the oh crap handles right here that actually could be needed in this case with a lot of that power and torque. There's another one of those 36 speakers throughout the interior. They are literally everywhere you look. Very comfortable seats right here. I like the fact that I can move it back and forth. And even if I had it right here, you know what? It's still not too bad for me. That's all the way forward, so I can give my rear seat passengers a lot more leg space that way, but I still have a lot of room left to work with. The armrests are pretty long. Maybe not as long as I'd like for them to be. I'd really like to have them reach up to the top of the seat right here, but my arm is very comfortable right there. That works, so good job, Cadillac. I like the design on the seat backs right here and on the seat cushions. Very well done, very luxurious look. And then we're going to have our rear seat pockets, just some simple little things here as well. But it's nice to have all that kind of balanced in with the things that are not so simple. And speaking of that, you do have a fully digital screen right here for controlling the third zone of climate control back here. In fact, we really have 4 zones because you have the third row, the second row, and the third row right there. We can go to that as well. We can turn that on or off. You can see all the different things we can do here. The outboard seats here, or these captain's chairs in the middle, I should say. There's not really outboard seats because there's only 2 seats, but they are heated. It would be nice if they were also ventilated, but that's a good feature either way. Now we're going to have our power outlet right there and a couple of USB options. And here are our 2 air conditioning vents in the middle row area. So that's still plenty of airflow right there as far as that goes. Also, if you're looking for cup holders, thankfully Carrie's here to remind me of things because there's a lot to remember here. But you have your cup holders, kind of a drawer style setup. But I like that they're concealed away because that could kind of get in the way when they're not in use. But when they're not in use, you can put that back in place and then fold the cover back on the power outlet. Now, the most exciting part to me is the front seat. And here is what we're going to do. We're going to hop up there and show you exactly why that is. Okay, you know what time of the video it is, plus I promised you this earlier, the sticker price. $150,585 at Orr Cadillac in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you come in and buy this IQ, tell whoever you talk to that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you. Let's take a look at the driver's side, or excuse me, the passenger side door panel, and you'll notice that giant speaker right there. One of those mini speakers, the 36 speakers we told you about throughout the interior. Very large door bin down there, more than enough space. It'd be hard to fill that up. In fact, it might have to be a goal. Carrie's entire arm fits down there. That is a big door bin. And the armrest, plenty of room up there. You're going to have all your typical controls and functions and all of that. Carrie definitely gives it the thumbs up. Now, something that's very interesting here is the controls for your seats. It's in the shape of the seat. You can control everything. You have the seat memory for the passenger side. You also have heated and ventilated functionality, and that round button right there, that's right there, that is for the massage function. And it's a very good massage function. It's not just a little bit, it's actually quite a bit. And as we take a look in here into the seats themselves, we're going to notice the same pattern that we had on the back seats, but there is something that's a little different here. And that's the fact that you're going to have the speakers built into the headrests. Now, this is nothing new for the Escalade, but it's a little bit of a different design. It doesn't look quite the same. It doesn't have that silver finish as some of the speakers do in the headrest on some of the previous models that we've shown you. So I'm going to have Carrie go ahead and hop on inside here, and we will continue our tour because, believe me, there is a lot to tell you about. Let me go ahead and there we go. I'm going to show you something else here that's very interesting. The control, the option right here. When I push that, the glove box opens. So if you're looking for how to do that, and you've watched my entire video to find out, we made you wait a long time, didn't we? But that is where that is. Now let me grab the camera here real quick so I can show you everything going over here on the driver's side, and you can see some of the very nice finish with the materials that we have. Everything is high-end, high quality, as you can expect. Our seat controls here, everything for the massage function. Obviously, heated and ventilated seats right here, and your seat memory. And one thing I didn't show you earlier in the video, if I push this button right here, I talked about it, but there is the power folding functionality of your rear view mirrors. And you can see some of the other controls and switches right here. I probably don't need to tell you too much about, but if you're looking for your power parking brake, there is that. And you can raise and lower the suspension, and it will actually lower down to a low rider position or lower position at lower speeds. Has a really nice look to it. All the controls here for your power windows, which all four are one touch down, one touch up. And here is your steering wheel, which, by the way, is very comfortable. I like the overall design of our controls here. You do have Super Cruise, by the way, if you were wondering about that. And believe it or not, it comes with the turn signal option. So for those of you that aren't afraid to use your turn signals, notice that I'm using that and that it's not hurting me. I'm not having any medical issues. I don't need to call 911. I don't need any oxygen. And I'm making Carrie laugh at the same time. And hopefully some of you too. I can't say anything sarcastic about the shifter, but there it is. Not really too much to talk about where that is concerned, and your instrument cluster. And I know we have a little bit of a glare where all of that is concerned. Just one of those things we deal with. By the way, this is considered the pillar-to-pillar screen. It's 55 inches, and it's actually a little different from the original model we showed you, the prototype, back in February of last year at the Chicago Auto Show. I think this looks much better. And notice all of the space right here. You could almost eat a meal up here. You could put your tray up there, or your food, whatever you have. That's really interesting how large that is. And going back to Carrie's side, he does have his own screen over there. So the passenger is going to have their own screen with all kinds of different features and functionality. Some really cool things going on. Let him show you a little bit of what's going on as far as what he can do. If it'll work for him, I don't know. It doesn't like it very much. Just one of those things. You can tell we didn't rehearse this and didn't know that's not going to like it much, but that's the way it goes. You know it's there. It'll probably work when you do that. Now let's go to, well, first of all, let's go right here. Nothing new for the Escalade, but you do have your rear view camera mirror, or you can use it as a regular mirror if you want to, and it is adjustable, the angle and the brightness and all of that. But I want to get to the center screen right here. And before we do, for those of you that are like Monk that don't want to fingerprint up your screen, right down here you have some controls that allow you to go home and select different things such as navigation, what you're listening to music-wise, and you can scroll your way around and select what you want to on the screen right there if you want to do that. So very nice, very easy to use. But you know what? I am not like Monk, and so I'm going to go up here and actually touch the screen. I don't mind doing that. It does have the protective plastic on it, so not a big deal. But you can see that it's very responsive to my touch, no lagginess. You have your Google Assistant right there. You've got your Play Store, My Cadillac. How about our drive modes? We have several different drive modes. Let me go through those. We'll start up here with Tour, which is going to be your default mode. You can see the graphics. We also have Sport mode, a little bit of a difference right there. We also have our snow and ice mode. We may actually need that before the end of this week down here in Northwest Louisiana, believe it or not. I wouldn't dare drive my Cadillac Escalade IQ with these people around here who think they can drive in the snow, but they can't. And there you go with your tow haul mode. And navigation, we'll show you that real quick. That seems to be a very popular thing that people ask about as far as this vehicle goes. Now, we're going to turn that off real quick. Let's get out of there. Okay. Because I wanted to go to our cameras. Now, one thing I really like here with the camera setup is that it's actually a little bit more simplified than I've seen in some other vehicles in the past as far as GM vehicles go, whether it's an Escalade or whatever it is. Because you only have a couple of different things to work with right here instead of having multiple options all the way across the screen. And here's what I mean. So there's not only our overhead view, but also our front view, or we can go to our rear view. And then we go to our overhead view right here. There's the front and the rear as far as that goes. What about your side view mirrors? Same thing. But those are your cameras. We can go down here. See how it says exit right there? That's something else that I like. Instead of having the X to exit, you hit exit right there, and that takes you out. You can go into settings right here, and you'll have a lot of things you're used to seeing as far as the vehicle goes. Connections, vehicle notifications, sounds, all that good stuff. Display is going to be here. But let's go into vehicle and show you a couple of things that I know you like to know about. Drive mode customization. If you want to use drive mode customization, I say we're going to do that. There we go. I just have to push on it a little bit harder. But you can see everything that you can customize here, and depending on what you want, even a motor sound. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but let's go to Sport. Let's see if that'll sound. We can hear that. Sounds identical, but that's what we have as far as that goes. That's very, very interesting. We can go in and make changes to the suspension if we want to, but just to show you some of the little things that are here. Valet mode, teen driver mode, you can turn your rear seat reminder on and off and your buckle to drive and all that good stuff. But this is something I wanted to get to that I know a lot of you like to know about, your safety features. So we're going to have the alert type there, forward collision avoidance. We're going to have front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, park assist with braking, and rear cross traffic braking, as well as our rear pedestrian alert. I'll tell you what, I could do a whole video on the screen all by itself because there is just so much to go over. We're not going to cover everything here, but just to show you some of the things that go on. Now, one thing I do want to go to is right here. Notice where it says off right there to turn the vehicle off. That's what you do right there. Now, we're not going to do it right now because we don't need to, but in case you were looking for that, well, there it is. And something else here, you can see the design of your air conditioning vents. They're very slim. Looks nice and easy to deal with. I do like that you can still manually control those. Kind of an interesting thing. Can you hear that? It has the click to it. Kind of an interesting little thing there. But the fact here that you have the screen, it looks nice. personally, I like physical controls where that kind of thing is concerned, but that's what we have. A screen for the air conditioning, all of the controls there for fan speed, for temperature. Everything you need to do is right there. In fact, we can go right here. See if we can do that. There we go. This is how we're going to turn on our heated steering wheel. Obviously, it does have a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats. There's your ventilated seats. I do like the graphics, I must say. And obviously, that will be red when we turn on the heated seats. And then you have your 3 different stages as far as that goes. And remember I told you about it having the massage function. Here's how you can turn that on and determine what type of massage you're receiving. In fact, we can turn that on right there and you can see that it's actually working. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's actually kind of noisy, kind of interesting. It's not too bad. Once you're driving down the road, I don't think that's going to hurt anything. And then position right there for seat position. We can make adjustments where that is concerned and obviously do all of that very easily. And then a few other things here that you might want to know about. One thing that I thought was very interesting is that right here is one of the other options for opening and closing your charge port door. So that will open it, and then you can also close that back if you want to. Easier than just going outside and doing that if you want to, whatever you want to do. And arrival, that's going to drop the vehicle. So we can go into arrival mode. It will actually lower the vehicle if I use that function. Traction control, you can turn that on and off. By the way, we also have rear steering or 4-wheel steering. That makes a big difference in your turning radius, makes things very easy to deal with. And your rear control locks are going to be right there. So a few things that you can use the hunt and peck method to find throughout the interior of the vehicle depending on what you want to do. We can also determine where you're controlling the air conditioning from right there. Or we can go back to that main screen and we can turn on our defroster for the windshield or for the rear window back there. You can sync them together. You can see what all you can do right there. It's pretty simple. Something else that I really like here is those controls we told you about earlier. I think we gave you a good look at that. But I have to give Cadillac 2 thumbs up because there are 2 wireless charging pads. More vehicles need to have that. So let me pull my phone out, and number 1, we'll give you this charging pad first. Let that come on. There we go. So we'll let that come on, let that go off, and then I will stick it up here into this charging pad. And don't let me down now. There we go. Sometimes it fools with me a little bit and says, I'm going to test your patience, Tom. And something simple right here, the cup holders. But I like the design around the rim right here. That looks really nice. This is a little touch of elegance. And as is typical with any of these vehicles is the fact that you have a nice large armrest, nice and wide, plenty of room. And Carrie and I aren't going to get in each other's way. You know, I'm not going to have to knock his arm off of there or anything like that. It's not like sleeping with the dog where the dog's trying to knock you off or anything like that off the bed and take the bed over. And how about inside? Plenty of room in there as well. You can see a 12-volt power outlet is going to be in here. A little bit more connectivity, a couple more USB options right there. And it is felt lined, so nice and comfortable if you're having a stressful day. Maybe that makes you feel better, right? I don't know. Just one of those things. Upper console, we'll take a quick look at that because I know a lot of you like to know what is up there and how that works. All your different features and functionality. It has a nice look to it, that's for sure. But overall, a very interesting vehicle, that's for sure. I'm going to let Carrie show you the sun visors real quick. They pass the sun visor test, don't they? That's always a good thing. I have been in some vehicles recently. In fact, we were in some Land Rovers that actually did not allow you to extend the visor like that. Kind of an interesting thing. So tell me what you think down in the comments about the 2025 Escalade IQ. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? It definitely has a lot of features and functionality that I think should be on all Cadillac Escalades. Just stick a gas motor under the hood and you're good to go. I might actually buy one, even though I don't need a 3-row SUV. So tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to our friends at Orr Cadillac for loaning us this Escalade for the day so we could tell you all about it and enjoy the showroom on a cold, windy Northwest Louisiana day. When people aren't used to that kind of thing, we need showrooms. I also want to say a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure sure to hit the like button. That's helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.